Hello, my name is Onyx Adams. I am doing my presentation on Bartonella Hensley, otherwise known as cat scratch disease, or otherwise known as CS. Bear with me, for I am not very good with technology, so some things might be a little slow. What is CSD? CSD is a part of the kingdom Bacteria, because it's a bacteria, from the genus Bartonella, from its fancy name. It is a slow growing gram negative bacteria. The bacteria itself is shaped like little rods, as you can see in the picture. And fun fact, kittens are more likely to carry and transmit CSD due to their rough play style and that it's easier for them to contract fleas, as well as everybody touches a kitten. Next up, how does it spread? If there we are, my recording's a little bit slow. How does it spread? CSD spreads through fleas. From fleas to cats who are asymptomatic, and from cats to people. It spreads from cats to people through bites, scratches, or any amount of saliva being applied to an open wound, such as if you were to get a paper cut and you stuck your finger in your cat's mouth for some reason, you're likely to get CS from that. Next, what does CSD do? CSD affects the area of infection. Obviously, if you get a cat scratch on your arm, the area in which the cat has scratched you will become inflamed and kind of puff up in like a little bump. That's the inflammation. It also can affect your lymph nodes, making them expand because your body's working overtime to try to make that this badness gets out. The symptoms of CSD might include, but are not limited to, a low-grade fever, enlarged or tender lymph nodes, an enlarged site of infection. You know that bubble I was talking about? That's the enlarged infection site. And it comes with some other side effects that are extraordinarily rare unless you are immunocompromised. Then, if you are, then interacting with cats is not advised. These rare symptoms are liver, spleen, brain, bone, or heart infections. Whilst extremely uncommon, they are serious, and if you are immunocompromised and believe that you might have contracted CSD, I would advise you to speak to a primary care doctor for further instruction. Now let's move on. How to treat. Ooh. As for treatment, 9 times out of 10, most cases resolve themselves. For a generally healthy person, it's not that big of a deal. It's a little inflammation, little less comfort, but generally your immune system will take care of it on its own. However, if symptoms are looking to be a little bit more severe, then antibiotics are recommended, especially if you are immunocompromised. Next up, population classification. How does this disease move about the world? Well, it's not a pandemic, nor is it an epidemic. It's not a terrible health crisis like polio or COVID was. It's just there. It stays at a flat line. It's never really rising or falling. It's just there. So that makes it an endemic classification. Never much of nothing, it's just in the background. And I thought it would be a little fun to go into other diseases that are linked CSD. See its little cousins, CSD itself, and the Bartonella family in general. One of which is the bacillary pilosis, a disease that can cause cysts in the liver and spleen. That doesn't sound too comfortable. Osteomyelitis, this one's a rare one. It's a rare infection on the bone marrow. And endocarditis, which causes inflammation in heart valves and the lining of your heart. Wow, those sound very serious. Next up, because I don't think anyone wants to invite any of those or to invite CSD or any of its friends along into your immune system. So here are some ways how to prevent it. First, to avoid cat scratches, bites, licks, or licks on open wounds. This might sound obvious, but it's not that obvious to most people. And you can also prevent infection by washing your hands after handling cats, especially if they are kittens or strays. Another way, and this is by preventing your cat from getting CSD, which prevents you from getting it. Keep your cats inside. They don't need to be roaming outside all by them lonesomes. They are not outside pets. Keep them inside for everyone's sake. As well as giving them flea treatments to keep those pesky bugs away. This will keep you and your pets oh so safe. Next up, another fun fact. Cats and fleas aren't the only ones to spread CSD. Whilst extremely dogs and rabbits and ticks have all been known to be able to transmit CSD to human beings. Now let's move on. Next, tests of identification. On the left side, you'll see a gram test, and you can see our negative gram CSD. And on the right, you can see a chart for the diagnosis for identification of CSD bacteria. Some major ways of identifying CSD, excluding a gram test, are physical examinations of symptoms, a blood test, mostly looking for antibodies, IgG or IgG. Most people with CSD have a very inflated, items, dang. They can also be found in IFAs or ELIS, and they can also be found in a PCR, which is more than likely taken from the lymph nodes. Now, I'm trying to cut this short because I have been talking for far too long. Next up to why I wanted to do CSD. Well, I have a cat of my own. His name is Loki. He's a pain in my side and I love him very much. And also, it's a part of my career track. I am aspiring to be a veterinarian and I figured doing that involves animals would be really good for me. Also, I'm a primely against outdoor cats, so this only helps my case. Anyway, let's move on to the reference page. Here, I have a extraordinary amount of sources, mostly from the CDC and the National Health Association, that I used for my findings. And the end. I hope you enjoyed my little presentation. Have a nice bye.